Welcome to Brigitting the Gap. My name is Bridget Aids. I'm so glad you're joining us today. We have Donna Sweetin with Sweetin Photography. My dear friend, I just absolutely love you. We just spent a full day together in downtown Denver taking marketing pictures, branding. I'm learning the proper word, branding photographs. But anyway, before we get started today, if you wouldn't mind, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you know when there's a new show coming on. And then also, too, please leave a comment for Donna or myself, and we'll make sure we get back with you. And all of Donna's information will be at the bottom of this video when we have it come live. All right, thanks everybody. And again, make this the best day ever. We'll be joining you here in a minute. All right, Donna, oh my God, I'm so happy to have you here with me today. I really am. So Donna, can you let everybody know a little bit about you, please?
Sure. Well, my name is Donna Sweetin, and I have a business called Sweetin Photography. So I'm a photographer, and I'm in my 4th official year of business, although I have taken pictures my entire life.
Yes.
I kind of don't specialize in anything. When I started my business, everybody said, pick a niche and stay there and you'll be more successful. But I actually like the variety of what I do.
Oh, I could imagine.
And I consider myself kind of driven by relationships. So I meet you, then your husband needs headshots, your daughter is getting married, and I love those connections and being able to photograph people through the years, the important things in their life.
Absolutely. Now, what did you do before photography?
Oh, so many things. So my husband, actually, we had to move a lot for his job. And so I started off, I was a social worker by trade.
Oh my gosh.
Got my master's in social work. Loved what I did. But once we started having a family, and he was gone literally out of the country a lot, working in healthcare in social work was really hard. So then I worked in the kids' schools. I worked as a teaching assistant in special education for years. I worked as an office manager for an insurance company, several different offices. I promoted a women's conference in Denver for a while that I loved. But
that's a lot of work.
It was a ton of work.
Yes.
But I met so many amazing people. And then the conference kind of went in a different direction that I really didn't want to go. And I had sort of this period of time, and I thought, I'll figure out what I want to do. And actually, this is a funny story. So my best friend, Kathy, we
love her.
Oh, she's awesome.
Yeah.
And we're very honest with each other. In fact, to the point where sometimes when
I have a couple of those girlfriends.
Brutally honest. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes when she calls, my husband will say, I can't even believe she picks up the phone when you call. I hear how you all talk to each other. And I said, no, we're just really, really honest, you know. And she had been encouraging me for years to start a photography business. I always did her pictures and whatever. And she was like, so what are you going to do next? And I said, well, I'm going to take some time and I'm going to figure out what I want to do. And she just lit into me. She's like, oh my God, you have this period of time. It is time for you to do this business. You have this gift that God gave you. You're not using it. It's a sin. And I was like, fine. I hung up the phone. I literally said,
but
fine.
She knew you enough.
She did. And you know what? It kind of made me get to the point where I thought, I have thought about this.
Oh.
So, okay, maybe I'll start it, kind of stick my toe into
play with it a little bit. Okay.
I knew there was a ton of photographers in the area, but I thought, well, maybe I'll just see and, try it for a year. Also, I think I was a little concerned about turning something that I loved into a job.
Donna, I think that's very normal.
Yes.
That's very normal.
Yes.
I don't know if I ever told you my story about the electrician. I had a client who was an electrician. He loved being an electrician, but he didn't like all the business stuff. And I remember reading your bio on that. The business stuff dragged him down. He said, if I could do 80 hours a week and do nothing but electrical, I would be so happy. But there's a business part of this. Right. So I get it.
Yep.
I get it.
And so I thought, well, maybe what I'll do is I'll try a year. And then I'll see how it goes, see how I feel at the end of the year. And from the first month, it went really well.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, and I met amazing people. And I would say that we had a very good network of friends and family who kind of knew over the years that I took pictures.
Yeah.
So that once I sort of put it out there, like, I am doing this now, I just got, a certain amount of business that flowed in. And I really wanted my business to grow organically. Okay. I didn't want to really go out and market to the public necessarily. I wanted to start with my circle of influence, and go out from there. And that's what's happened, is now I'm photographing people's family members. And
Oh
now,
my gosh. And I remember when I had my salon where I would cut them when they were kids, and then I was cutting their kids' hair. That's when you know you're getting old.
That's true.
So I don't know if there's something to brag about or not, but
right.
So Donna, I do want to ask this. What is your passion behind it? I love your why. Mm-hmm. Why is it? Can you please share with everybody your why behind the whole idea of having photographs?
Sure.
Because this is powerful.
Yeah, it is for me. So I lost most of my family at a very young age. I was 23 when my mom passed away. Wow. I was 28 when my father passed away. And we literally have no aunts, no uncles, no grandparents. We really have no extended family above me and my siblings, and there's 5 of us. So I can honestly say when I'm in a session and like I'm doing a multi-generational shoot.
Are you just emotional?
I am so happy that people have taken the time to document those moments, because for me, I can't go back and get those moments.
No, you can't.
Again.
No.
So to be able to do that for somebody else
and do you have many pictures of your parents?
Not very many.
Oh.
No. We have some snapshots, but I get a little jealous when I walk into people's homes and I see these beautiful pictures of like their parents at an older age and their grandparents and whatever. But I really do. I feel very honored that people invite me into their lives to be able to capture that for them. And I know as a mother, when I get family pictures of my family, because I have a couple of grandchildren now, there's nothing better.
And they are adorable.
Yeah, thank you.
And so is Zoe. Zoe's her dog. I'm in love with Zoe.
Zoe gets a lot of pictures.
Yes. Just follow Donna Sweetin. You'll see Zoe wearing all kinds of crowns. That poor thing. You put her, but she takes it.
She gets treats.
Takes it.
She gets lots of treats. Don't worry about Zoe. Yeah,
there's no abuse going on there.
No, she's got to earn her keep. So,
Donna, how do you handle family? We just experienced our family having to come together for something. Mm-hmm. It's not always pretty. How do you do it? Because I just did makeup for brides and I was ready to shoot myself.
Right.
But I mean, how do you get the mother and the mother-in-laws and the family and come together? Don't argue. Stand there. My God, how do you do that?
It is challenging, I would say. But the interesting thing is my social work background.
Oh, perfect.
I had to deal with, literally, I worked in a hospital setting and I worked in geriatrics too. So I worked in nursing homes where I was dealing with family systems all the time.
Oh, yeah. And
and
heightened because you're in a hospital.
Yes. People that were in major crisis. And the funny part was I realized after I started my business is how much, it sounds funny, but when people come to get their pictures taken,
there's a crisis.
It is a crisis. They're very vulnerable. Usually they'll look right at me and they'll go, "What do I do?" And I'm like, I just sort of grab them and I say, "It's going to be okay. I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. I'm going to coach you through it before you know it.
And she does.
Over."
Yes.
But it's funny when I have large families.
Oh my gosh.
When they're all getting out of the car, I can already see the family dynamics going on. Who's mad at who? Who doesn't like who? Who wore the wrong thing and didn't wear what the mom told them to wear. I can tell.
I don't like to get photographed.
Correct.
I have a sister who will not be photographed.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh gosh.
Sometimes the husband and wife are fighting.
Oh,
sometimes the kids are not dressed. I mean, but the funny part is I realized that because I dealt with people in crisis before, I'm able to see it for what it is, and it doesn't bother me at all.
I think that's the key. Don't buy into it.
No, because I've got things I've got to do for
them. Well, they hired you for that reason.
Correct. And so I focus, but I'm pretty good at walking up. Actually, I go up to the person that's most stressed. A lot of times it's the husbands, and I'll just put my arm there and I'll say, "You're really excited about this, aren't you?" And they just start laughing. They start laughing because they don't want to be there. And I just always reassure them, like, "Don't worry. I shoot really fast. Like, before you know, we'll be done with this and you'll be so happy you have these pictures later." And it just brings people's anxiety down.
It is anxiety. Why is that?
Because when we look at a picture of ourselves, we're so critical. We go right to the part of ourselves that we don't like.
Oh, you know what we do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do.
We all do. We all do. And so truly, that is one of the most fun parts for me. I photograph a lot of women too, and I think women in particular can be very hard on themselves.
We're terrible about ourselves, yes.
But you know, this is what we study. We study lighting and we study posing to flatter somebody, and there's nothing that makes me happier than photographing somebody and turning the back of my camera around and going, oh my God, look at you.
You do that.
And seeing their face light up, like they've never seen themselves in a good light. And professional pictures are very different than snapshots. So it's really fun to be able to show people, wow, look at how amazing, like we did this for you.
And do you see their confidence all of a sudden go up, and all of a sudden they're in like supermodel mode?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I say that because we have a lot of fun together, but I kind of felt very special the other day going out and doing my branding sessions. I thank you for that. You know, one thing I got to say is I've had a couple of friends who got married. And they chose photographers that I'm sure are beautiful human beings, but they land up getting second photographs done because that photographer wasn't up to par for whatever the reason might be.
Sure.
One of my friends, she walked down the aisle and the photographer forgot to get a picture of her and her father walking down the aisle.
Yikes.
So that happens, right?
It does.
And I'm going to wedding, and I do want to go to Entrepreneur and Headshots in a moment, but a wedding is, you can't do it again. Well, we hope you don't do it again.
Right.
What is it? What are the questions? What should a new bride and groom be looking for in a photographer, Donna? Seriously, because I think this is priceless information.
Well, I think first of all, you have to meet in person with your photographer, first of all, to make sure that it's a good fit. And I tell my clients, I never accept a wedding until I meet with a couple ahead of time. And what I tell them, and I really mean this, is we're one of the most important vendors in the sense that we're shadowing you all day long. So if it's not a good fit personality-wise or whatever, you're going to kind of be annoyed that that person is there.
Ah, good point.
So you need to make sure that you're kind of looking at things the same way. I can pretty much tell when I'm sitting down with somebody in terms of how detail-oriented they are. They are looking at me in the same way. They're
checking you out.
Yeah. Do I come prepared? Do I have certain questions that I ask? Can I show them a couple of full galleries, not a couple pictures, but a full gallery of a wedding and all of the different things I do at one wedding? And I think that's where some people get into trouble, because any professional can put up one picture that's their best picture. It doesn't necessarily mean they can shoot
the other 1,000 or 500 are good.
Yeah.
Oh my
gosh. So I encourage people, and I tell people, here's a couple galleries, take a look at them if you like my style, because photography is very subjective. I may look at it very different than another professional photographer. So, and some edit different, some are light and airy, some are dark and moody, some are more editorial style. So I think you really need to research your photographer. You need to meet her or him in person, and pay attention to all those details that they're giving you and what they're offering you and what they're, I think also we should be a resource for, the best florists in town and the caterers. That's where you can tell if somebody really does.
Is it really connected? Yes. Oh my God, that's a good point. And it's kind of
plugged into that community. The funny part is I never set out to do weddings. I actually thought that was one type of photography.
I remember you telling me. I remember the day when you're like, no, not doing, I ain't going there. And now, the moment you said that, and within days you had another wedding, and from a friend of a friend.
Yeah, it's always through
never say never.
I know.
Never say never, Donna.
But I have decided, because I do a lot of different types of photography, I take a certain number per year. That's it. Because to me, weddings are huge deals. And I put a ton of time and energy. And they're not good.
You don't want to do a mass production of it.
No, but I have ended up loving them. Because again, there's a connection there.
Yeah, but also too, you're very picky. You don't work with everyone. That's what I love about Donna. That's what I love about you. No, I love it, and I'm learning a lot from you. Because you know what? It never pays to do business with everyone. No. Somewhere there's going to be a debit in that, and it's going to be, and it could be just emotionally exhausted, and you burden yourself out. But you look forward to those 5 weddings, and I think you maxed that this year, didn't you?
I went way over. But And I actually say to people
but you do
out
have a
loud,
limit. Yeah.
I say, I want the couples that are more excited about the marriage than the wedding.
Yes.
I don't want bridezillas. I don't want people that are going to micromanage me and everything else, because that's not enjoyable. And it sounds funny, but when you're photographing somebody, especially when it's emotional, like a wedding, you want to feel good about the whole thing. That's when you can get the true emotion.
Yes.
And
that's the important thing about knowing the bride and the groom. Where's their story? How'd they meet? Because I know you probably ask, how did you guys meet? How did you get engaged? Or hopefully you're part of the engagement pictures or whatever. Pricing. Mm-hmm. I get very frustrated when people make a decision on the price only.
Yeah.
And I understand budget. We're not ignorant.
Absolutely.
We're not ignorant to budget.
Yes.
But I've got to tell you, you're very realistic in your pricing. I mean, you're not like $40,000. I've heard, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
I've heard where people have paid $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for photographs.
Oh yeah.
Which, whatever. But your pricing is extremely reasonable. And not only that, you do something that's called the second shooter. Can you explain what that is?
So I offer couples, and I encourage couples actually to pay a little bit extra to have a second shooter. And when I got married, we didn't do second shooters. But
I never heard of this before, but I think it's brilliant.
But when you think about it, a wedding is a big event. There's lots going on, so I can't be everywhere at one time. So it's very common for couples to add on a second shooter. And so that means when you're up in front and you're getting married during the ceremony, I can be in one place, my second shooter can be in another place.
Can you imagine taking a picture from behind the bride and groom going...
One
my God,
at the
love
front,
that.
one can be at the back. We can get, she can be focusing on the groom's face. I can be on the other side doing the bride's face. And so I do encourage couples to do that. Having said that, I have a couple who just want me to do it. But, I have some great second shooters that I hire to help me. And
I love that. Now, is it just for weddings you would do a second shooter, or could it be like a corporate event?
It could be. Absolutely.
Because you can't be everywhere, and you miss a lot of things, don't you?
Yes.
What kind of photography do you do? Do you like if there was an event happening? Are you an event photographer?
Mm-hmm. I love doing events, actually. Kind of my sweet spot. I love doing 50th anniversary parties.
Oh,
are awesome. I love doing family reunions. I've actually done some bar mitzvahs too. Super fun. Love doing those. And I've done some business conferences as well, which is great.
Yes,
it's great. There's something about, I always think it's really fun to be like a fly on the wall, being able to capture what's going on. And I just did a really awesome business conference for a charity. It's called Jesse's Heart, and it's all about raising money for families that have children that have heart issues.
Oh, there's so many.
So the speakers were amazing. The prizes, just the people that were there, and so to be able to capture
it must feed you too.
Oh, it was awesome. I'm now their official photographer, so yes, I get to do all their.
Oh, that's the one that. Okay, got it. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah.
So you also something that's really this is a good topic. I have many friends that have kids that are going to be seniors that got screwed, literally, with their senior pictures because they were free.
Correct.
Donna, please educate our audience on this. Because you're only a senior once, hopefully.
Right.
I mean, but seriously, there's some shady marketing words.
Well, people just don't know. And if you've never been a high school parent of
how would you know?
Having senior,
you're going to go with what the school suggests sometimes.
Correct. And they have lists of preferred photographers, and a lot of times, hopefully, they're really good. A lot of times, because they just pay money to be on the list. But
I didn't know that. Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
And thankfully, a lot of the people I know, some personal photographers, they're great photographers, but you have to pay to be on the list, and that's how you get on there.
Okay.
But some of the big box studios, what they do is they advertise free sessions, like a free sitting fee, but that includes nothing except for the session. Well, of course, you want prints. You want maybe some digital images. Of course, you want your yearbook image. And I have talked to people who ended up going out of the door paying $1,200 to $2,000 or more.
Oh my gosh.
Or more. And so I think you just have to be really careful about how you do that. And I look at high school senior pictures. I've had parents say, well, we need a yearbook picture. And I always say to them, you don't just need that. Like, this is an opportunity before your student
huge.
goes somewhere or goes off to work or goes off to college or whatever. We don't do that with our kids. We do baby pictures. But, I mean, senior in high school is a big deal. And I know that I have my boys' senior pictures still on my wall. They will always be on my wall because we got this just amazing classic pictures of their beautiful faces.
Before they go to the grown-up world.
Yes,
and they don't need you anymore.
Correct.
This is when they needed me.
Correct, yes. So
Oh.
I try to make it an experience for them too. We talk about different locations. Sometimes we'll go to multiple locations in a day.
And I love that because there's nothing traditional about your photograph.
I try not to be.
She had me in the alley one time. Where were we, in Littleton?
Yes.
Downtown Littleton in an alley, and all of a sudden a garbage truck comes down, and it was perfect because I started laughing, and that was one of the best shots.
Yep.
When you work with Donna, she has down stairwells, all kinds of,
I actually like the creative part of
yes,
that.
you do.
Like if I take
You're very
somebody
good.
somewhere, we try a lot of different things. We walk and we talk and we try different outfits.
Yes.
And, I want the senior to feel like it was a really special
Yes.
time. Like they are incredibly special to their family, and that's why they're getting these done. I want them to have pictures they're going to be proud of in their yearbook. And I also want the parents to have a beautiful photo or photos of their senior that will be there forever.
Absolutely. Now, I want people to know this about you, and I think this is where your background comes in too. You had a young man that absolutely was fearful of his photographs. Fearful. I mean, like you even told me, I had a moment where I thought maybe this isn't going to work. What was it you did that helped him land up just wanting to get more pictures? Apparently, he just started really digging it.
He
What
did.
did you do?
He did.
For the parents out there that the kids go, "No, Mom, I don't want my picture."
Yeah.
What do we do?
Well, it's not always boys, but I think teenage boys are very uncomfortable typically. Not all.
Well, a lot of them
but
are
some.
awkward. It's an
They
awkward phase.
But this particular young man, his mom had actually hired me and then canceled. And I thought, okay, whatever. I didn't really know her. She recontacted me a month later and she said, "This is so-and-so. I hope you remember me. We had my son's pictures taken, but they turned out awful."
Oh, so she went with somebody else.
Yeah.
And then came back to you. Okay, got it.
And she says, I hope that you'll still agree to photograph my son. I said, of course.
Of course.
So I met him, and it was so funny because they got out at the curb, and he just looked at me, and he looked at the ground, and he goes, "How long is this going to take?"
Oh.
And I thought, okay. And I just went like this. I said, "You know what? I know this is your second time around. I know you're not excited about this, but I'm going to tell you what." I said, "We're going to walk, I'm going to talk, and I'm going to tell you exactly what to do." And I said, "This will be over before you know it, and you will look awesome." And he goes, "Okay." So we walked, and he was a little awkward at first. And then I said to him, it was so funny, I go, "You know what? There are some graffiti walls over there." And this young man lit up like a light bulb. He's over there like posing himself against these graffiti walls. I was like, and the coolest thing about it was, I knew we got some great shots, but later on, his dad, who I didn't even know, I had been dealing with his mom, he went into like my Google page, my Facebook page, and wrote all these like amazing, like we were in tears when we saw this picture because I think the young man had some learning issues in school and whatever, but in these pictures, he looks strong and confident. And I think that comes from two things. One is I worked in the school district and I worked with some kids that had some different issues. And second of all, I'm a boy mom.
Yes,
so
you are a boy
I understand
mom.
boys, and my boys do not like having their pictures taken, except for now they're married, and actually they like that I do pictures.
Yes.
But they never did, and my husband is really fond when I take a picture of him as well. So I know how to relate to boys and men, and I understand girls because I'm a girl.
Yeah.
But it has helped a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What do you do with have you ever had to deal with a teenager? Because I remember me being a teenager, I had no self-confidence.
Right.
Do you do the same thing for a girl? You just let her know it's going to be all right?
Yeah, and sometimes we do things like we'll let them bring music.
Oh my God, I never thought of that.
They can bring music with them with their own playlist.
So kind of gets them in the mood.
The other thing is I'm more and more I'm incorporating movement into my pictures. Sometimes if I just stick somebody in a spot, it's hard to just project to the camera.
Yes.
But I'm doing a lot more movement And kind of, not only does it, their clothes flow and their expressions are more fresh and authentic.
Yes.
But they start laughing a lot of times. And so I get these really fun, so I'm incorporating some different things because there are some very shy young ladies as well.
Absolutely.
But I'm telling you, sometimes if you can just, especially the shy ones, if you can go, oh my gosh, look how good you look.
Yeah.
They kind of perk up and they get some confidence.
Yes.
And then they start to project a little bit more.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Donna, we obviously are on an entrepreneur channel.
Yes.
I cannot stress how important two things are for an entrepreneur. Branding photographs and headshots.
Yes.
Donna, this world has the ugliest headshots. I mean, I how do you, okay, why are you so different and so unique and your headshots are not, what was it, the other?
Stodgy.
Stodgy.
Yeah.
I mean, really, there's some seriously, Yes. So headshots. Why? First of all, why is it important?
Okay.
Why is a headshot so important?
Headshots are incredibly important. One, because before people know you in your business, they see your picture.
First judgment.
Absolutely. And so if, let's say on your LinkedIn page, for example, you have, and this happens all the time, you've cut yourself out of a family picture and put yourself there. What does that tell somebody about you?
Excuse my language, I do things half-assed.
Yes. Yeah, it's no attention to detail. And that's my first flag. Like, I wouldn't call that person.
You know what? I agree with you. Or the high school picture that's still up there.
Yes, and it happens all the time. Yeah. So, and it's interesting. It used to be much more popular to just put somebody on a plain background, a black background or white. And some of those can look good depending on your profession. I actually prefer outside photographs in natural light. But we pick locations. I talk to people about what is your profession? What type of image do you want to put out there? And then let's match that. An example, I had a friend, she started a leather earring business and her company had downtown in it. So I'm like, let's go downtown. And that's what we did. We did pictures all along 16th Street and she looked adorable. Oh. So I really tried to personalize what I'm doing. It's not a cookie cutter type thing.
Right.
And I coach people through the process. That's the other thing. I've had a lot of feedback from people after I photographed them saying, oh my gosh, that was so much easier. Like last time I just stood there, they didn't tell me what to do with my body.
I wouldn't like that. I'm not, this is not what, I'm not in front of a camera to take pictures all the time.
No.
I love that.
And clothing, things like that. Like I coach
Yes, you're very good on that.
What looks best.
Yes.
And most times people follow the guidance, and it really, clothing makes a huge difference.
It does.
And,
So let's say we're a law office, and we have 11 different attorneys. Do you think it's a good? I always thought there was a law office I walked into, Donna, and I don't remember where it was. I want to say it was Cherry Creek, and they had a big long panoramic photograph of the whole team doing different things. That made me realize I'm not with a staunchy law office. I'm a law office with real people.
Right.
Like these lawyers are real. So do you have creative ideas for that? Like if it's a doctor's office or, just an office of people instead of just a headshot.
Absolutely. And whoever it is that's organizing the photos, I always meet with them first and talk about what is your vision? How are you using these pictures?
Yes.
Again, what kind of image do you want to put out there? Some businesses, like being an attorney, sometimes the coat and ties, they look too stuffy. And I always tell people, I don't care what your profession is. People need to be able to look in your picture and look in your eyes.
And relate with you.
Yes. And you need to look approachable. It was funny. I had one gentleman and he wouldn't smile. And I said to him, you know what? I'm just going to tell you, if I looked at your picture, I wouldn't feel comfortable sitting across the desk talking to you about your business. So you don't have to grin real big.
Yeah.
But you need to look approachable. And so I got him to smile. But
all right, yeah. Well, I need a smiling face to make I like that. I do. So Donna, the one thing that I love that you do, because I do know that photographers can hire out editing. You choose to handcraft every single. I want you guys to hear me. If she does 500 shoots, she cleans out what's not good. handcrafts every single one of them.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what a lot of photographers do? Not that it's bad. We have talked about that.
Sure.
But and why you do what you do.
It's something about turning out the final product for me. I'm not ready to let that go because I want to have that last stamp of approval that I think it looks like my brand and what I would appreciate as a consumer. Having said that, there's a lot of photographers, particularly wedding photographers, because, we may do an 8-10 hour day and we might have 3,500 to 4,000 photos.
Oh, dear God.
So those are pretty good about finding an editor that really edits to their style and their brand. I'm not to the point where I'm ready to let go of it.
Well, that's kind of your joy, though, isn't it?
I do enjoy doing it. Yeah.
And Donna, I love what you said. I was there. I know the moment and I know what I want to edit.
Right.
You know, and I think there's a lot to say for that, is that somebody in a maybe different country or a different place, they weren't at the wedding.
Right, exactly.
And I just love that you handcraft all of that. That really speaks volumes to me.
Yeah.
It really does. So, Donna, with that being said, how does one, let's just say they're looking at getting engaged. Mm-hmm. Do they just call you and talk to you? Are you open to a phone call from people and seeing if that would be a good fit for you?
So, of course, I have a website. People can book through that.
And all of that information will be on here for them.
But I love talking with people by phone and then setting an in-person meeting if we can.
Yes.
Not everybody can.
Yes.
But particularly if I think I'm going to do their wedding, we definitely have to meet.
Exactly.
In person. And then I have questionnaires and things that I go through with them. Then I'm sending them guidance again on let's pick out some locations, let's pick out your clothing. And I always give pretty strong recommendations on this is what I think looks best. Let me show you an example of that. For example, I just did 2 engagement sessions and these beautiful young girls, the long flowy dresses or skirts that have some movement in them, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
They're beautiful. Yeah. Now, some people still want to wear their jeans, but I'll say, why don't you bring a pair of jeans and some boots, but also bring something a little bit fancier.
Yes. And do they land up loving those?
They do.
Yes.
They do. And they're romantic and they're beautiful. Mm-hmm. And so I try to be very upfront because I want them to end up with really beautiful pictures. Yes. And people don't always know what makes the difference.
Exactly.
Clothing makes a huge difference, as well as the light, things that I can control, like where we're doing photos and what the lighting is like and whatever, but also the way that they dress and how they show up ready for a session.
And what is branding sessions? What? Okay. Because I know I just went through it, but why would somebody care about branding session? Why would that make a difference?
I would say that it's really it's like we used to say marketing, how you market yourself. It's branding yourself. It's when I look at something, when I know that that's Bridget's. By the photos that are there. And they tend to be more pictures of you in your everyday life, maybe in your home, in your work setting, with your puppy, with your orchids, all of the things that are important to you that make you human.
Yes.
And also, I think people nowadays, when we look at businesses, it's not just about the business. It's about who is doing the business. Who is Bridget? Where did Bridget come from?
We don't buy the brand. We buy the person.
Yes. And so I think the branding photos that are more real life, I would say, they make you human. And people see parts of your life, I think, that they can attach themselves to, they can relate to. And then they think, I want to call her. So, branding is kind of the new marketing. Really.
And so what that looks like is having, 4 to 5 hours with you? Mm-hmm. And you come up with, oh my God, what she comes up with. How do you come up? Do you just lay in bed at night and think of I know when you travel, you're thinking of where you can take pictures.
Always.
But, do you just lay in bed at night and think of where you're going to put somebody?
It's a little overwhelming.
Oh my goodness. I was everywhere downtown.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I always tell my husband, since I really trained my own eye. I didn't go to college for photography, although I grew up in a graphic design family.
Yes, you do. You have an eye for beauty.
So I think I had an eye for composition. But, kind of teaching yourself lighting and posing and those things, you have to be very tuned into your environment. And it's funny because when we go places, he knows that I'm constantly looking, and it's like, okay, focus, you're with me now. And I'm like, that would be a good place to put somebody,
I love it.
But that's the fun, creative part of it, is you are always looking for new things and new ways of doing things. And I'm always taking online classes to just improve what I'm doing.
Yes, you are.
And I want the very best for my clients.
Absolutely. So Donna, the way I see you is that you are a photographer for family for life. Because let's face it, life happens. Yes. So you get engaged, then you're going to try out a family and get a puppy. And right? And then you have a puppy and you think, okay, this puppy's still living. We might be good as parents. And then they get pregnant. You want pregnancy pictures. I mean, you got to have that.
Yes.
This is you before you were born. I mean, what kid wouldn't? I wish I would have had a picture of my mommy's belly.
Yes.
Wouldn't that have been cool?
Yes. We didn't do those.
No.
Before,
Oh God,
so.
that was taboo. Yeah, that was taboo. That's where real maternity clothes were in.
Right.
And then you have a second child. Then you have a family photograph.
Yep.
And then it just goes on and on. And then they go to school.
Correct.
Now, do you do school pictures even for younger, or is that pretty much grade schools? Pretty much.
They usually
do their own
thing.
thing.
School, although when I do family sessions, I actually do individual pictures of the children.
Okay,
if
cool.
they want them.
Cool.
Because I have a lot more to choose from in terms of locations
Absolutely.
for them. But the other part of that, I think, is if you know your photographer, when I show up now, the kids know me.
Yeah.
And so I think you get better pictures because it's not like some strange person showing up with a camera. It's like, oh, Donna's here again.
Absolutely.
So I think that comfort level results in better photos.
Well, I'll tell you, my daughter, she already made it very clear. We don't have another photographer.
Oh.
There's no option in my family. It'll always be you. My whole living room wall is dedicated to you, sweetie. So, well, Donna, thank you so much. And I hope that you have an opportunity and some tools that they can use to interview other photographers. And even if they wanted to interview other photographers, they can give you a call. And you'd be
Absolutely.
like, if they might not be in the state.
Absolutely.
You might even have a referral for somebody in another state. But just to give you a call and say, what are some questions I can ask? And Donna's so personable. I swear. I just absolutely love you. And I'm so grateful I can call you a friend.
Anytime.
I mean
Anytime.
that, really. I just love you very much. So anyway, well, Donna, thank you so much. I appreciate your time today more than anything. So for all of you, thank you for joining us today for Brigitting the Gap. This is Donna Sweetin with Sweetin Photography, and she will sweeten your life for sure. And I hope this is the best day of your life. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye now.
Bye.